Hi, I'm Radona from boysandgirlshairstyles.com. My turn today. We are going to cut my hair off in the back. So it's just been growing. It's really full back here. I think what we're going to do is bring up all this length short, leave all of this long, and then we're just going to stack this tight right here and leave this length here so it's full here and then it's just really tight there. And we're going to leave all the front, just barely trim that. So Missy, she's going to cut it and she will explain. And we've had her cut before and everybody loved it and wanted to see it again. So we're just going to change up my haircut. So she'll just start and explain what we're going to do.
Okay, we're going to start in the back. You don't have to. I like to clip the hair up when I'm cutting my perimeter at the bottom. Although this top layer isn't going to have a lot to bring down to cut, I like to part it off. It just feels like too much hair there to me to be able to do what I want to do.
Here, just so they can see it.
Okay, which way do you want to go? That way, is it?
Well, just, can we see the end? Okay.
Okay, so she wants it to be A-lined a little bit. I'm not going to cut any farther than her neckline. You don't want to cut into the neckline and have little short hairs there. So we'll start right at the center and just kind of cut a little piece where we want it to be. And then from there, angling downward into an A-line. And there will be a little bit of neck hair, and you'll have to trim that off when you're done, which is fine. I like to lay my scissors on their neck when I'm cutting a perimeter. If it's a short haircut, when it's long, you can't always do that because it's clear down on their back, but it just makes it a nice crisp line rather than lifting it up and trying to cut it. And then of course just measure to make sure your corners are the same and you don't have one a little bit longer than the other. A little water. Okay, and then the same with this. And just cut it to your line where you had chosen before. She doesn't want any of her side hair cut, just barely trimmed. She wants to keep the length in the sides. So from this perimeter here, we're going to want to angle it way down into the length of her sides. So on this side, just come and just clip just the few hairs that are hanging right there. And we're just going to leave this where it is. And then the same on this side.
It's kind of fun being in the chair.
Where's your clipper?
The little one?
Yeah, right. Oh, there's that. Okay, we'll just clean that neck hair off and then we'll go from there. Just a few little fuzzies. I want to make sure and get those. Don't leave those when you do a short haircut. Okay, and then from there, she wants it stacked pretty steep and pretty tight to her head. So just to be safe, I am going to part this off a little bit and just comb it forward there, because she wants to keep all of this stuff long and this long. So we want to keep that out of the way so we don't accidentally cut it in with the other hair. So, and you can clip it if you feel the need to clip it so you don't so you don't get it. Sometimes if the hair is just wet and you can comb it out of the way and it'll be fine, you can do that too. So, and I'll probably take a little bit up here, and I'm gonna clip it up too. We're gonna blend this into the hair a little bit later, but she doesn't want any of this long hair short. So we'll clip it up out of the way so it doesn't get cut too short. Okay. I have those the same, so I'm not. Okay. Alright, make sure they're the same, so you're not cutting more on one side than the other. I usually start in the center. Just take a center part, and we're going to cut it quite a bit. You can see quite a bit coming out there because she wants it a pretty steep stack. Okay. Same thing, and then move to the next section. And same here, and you want to kind of bring the hair towards the center as you get farther out into here, because you're going to want it, it's going to need to be short, but you want it to get a teeny bit longer as it's coming around to the sides, because you want it to blend a little bit. You don't want it to be super short and then just long. So some haircuts are like that. Some ladies like it that way, and if Radona decides she wants hers, then we can cut these corners a little bit shorter. I always angle them just a little bit so they're not too awfully short and won't blend at all. Let's see. Okay, so same thing going around to the left side.
I'm excited to have it easy. When the back's cut out, that's easy. I guess I should say fast.
Now I'm just checking it, kind of cross-checking it to make sure there's not any long sections or a section that's kind of chunky sticking out. So you always want to check, make sure your haircut's even and doesn't have weird pieces that you missed. Looks a little bit longer on this one side to me. I'm going to take a little bit more out right there. I don't know why, when you cut hair, it must be the way you hold your scissors or the way you push your hair. It always seems like you have one side that's longer than the other.
Yeah.
Pretty consistently. You can almost guess which side of the head's going to be a little bit longer. So, and then you'll obviously need to fix that. You can't send them out with one side longer than the other. So, sorry, I'm taking a little extra time doing that.
You're fine.
Okay, do you want to fill that just to see? Does that feel kind of,
Yeah.
or do you want me to go more?
I think that's good.
Okay.
We'll try that
All right.
and see.
Okay, that's the other thing, ask your client. If you're not sure exactly how short, ask them. It's better to have them say, yeah, I think that's good, or, you know, you don't, the biggest mistake you can make is cutting too much off, because there's no way to put it back. So, especially when you're going with a little bit shorter cut, you want to check to make sure that they're okay with it before you keep cutting. And I tell my clients that too. If you want it a little, you know, try it for a week. If you want it a little bit shorter, I mean, you'll be able to tell. Come back and we'll fix it. You can always cut it shorter if it's not short enough. So I always err on the side of long. So, okay, and then you're gonna pull this down, and of course you're gonna want to blend that in so it's not hanging over the short hair. So, and she wants it long, so again, angling out to keep as much length up there as you can, and it's almost like this is falling out up here, so that length's right where it needs to be. It's just going to take that little bit out to blend it right there. So, and again, working in a section from the center, heading towards each ear. And just angling out on a really steep angle so you can let the length in the crown fall out, so you're not cutting the crown too short if they want, where she wants it long.
I'll try it that way. Maybe next week we'll want it short, I don't know.
That's the other thing about the color of hair Radona has. You can tell if you're doing a straight cut by the color of this type of hair, where she's darker down here and then blonder on top. If your cut's not even, you'll notice it, because your blonde highlights coming over the dark. When her hair was one length, you wouldn't notice it at the bottom as much, but where it's cut short, if it's not even, you'll notice it, because the light line will be different on one side than the other. It won't lay the same, and that's something people will notice when they're walking behind her in the mall or at the grocery store, or, you know, she might not notice it, but other people will. And so always make sure your cut's even and check your lines, especially on a haircut like this. It's gonna show up if you don't do it right. Again, I'm a little bit longer on this side, so I'm just going to trim that up a little bit. Okay. Alright, moving on to the rest. She wants the rest barely trimmed. She wants to keep all of her length in the front and the sides. So Radona highlights her hair, so we're just barely going to take the ends off. Probably just to keep them looking nice, so they don't get wispy or broken looking. So, and that's fairly easy. So just pull it up in sections and trim a teeny bit off. So Radona's last haircut was probably, what, 6 to 8 weeks ago?
Yeah.
So you need to get your hair cut probably every 6 to 8 weeks at least. If your hair's shorter, sometimes more often, to keep your style, because it'll grow out of the cut that you did pretty fast and start looking kind of out of shape if you're not careful. Longer hair can get away with it, although they shouldn't, because then the ends of your hair get yucky and start breaking off. Especially nowadays, because everybody's using a flat iron, so that's pretty hard on the ends of your hair. So make sure you're getting your hair cut every 6 to 8 weeks. Okay, just cross-checking on the top to make sure I didn't leave it crooked. Okay, and then just to barely pull up the sides and take a little bit off there, make sure it's blended. And the same on this side. Just pulling it up in the corners to blend it if there's any little pieces there. She wants to leave the length, so we're not going to go down into the length. We're just going to pull it up and take off that corner. Okay. And then the last thing, sorry, we're going to, I'm just going to go through this section right here where the short hair that we cut is going to blend with this long hair, and just make sure it's all blended so she doesn't have a short, long. We're not going to cut it short at all by any means because she wants to keep it long. So what I would do, I would just comb it up, pull the hair out, and then you're going to rotate your hand way down. So you're letting all this drop out, and all you have is a teeny little bit of hair from the short to the long. You just want to blend that little bit in, okay? So, and the same thing, pull it up a little bit higher, pull it out, and overextend your fingers so you're just taking a teeny bit out there. So, and that way when the hair falls back, she won't have a big chunk from short to long. So, okay, and same on this side. So, pull it out, and then overextend your fingers. Again, I don't know if you can see, there's just a little bit there. Make sure you're letting the side fall out so we're not cutting into her side length at all. And same, moving up the head to make sure. And then once you get to the top, you're going to want to check up here too to make sure all that's blended. And it is. There's just a little teeny bit there. We'll just tip that off. Did you want your bangs trimmed at all, or are they okay? Or even the whole front?
Yeah, because I think you trimmed them, so.
Okay. Okay, so there you have it. What do you think? Think it feels short enough? You want to go more?
Yeah.
Okay, we can go
Is
more.
that okay?
Yeah.
Just through this area. Like
Just
I want
through
this long to be, but maybe that corner.
Okay, take a
Just
little more.
bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, no, that's okay. So she wants to go a little bit shorter. We're just going to cut a little bit more through there. Okay, you're okay. So just cutting off, we're going to comb the front again. So, in fact, I might even take a little more. She still wants this long up here. That's okay. And it'll probably be okay. Radona, she likes a little bit of volume in her hair. So even if this up here is longer, you know, she's gonna take it up a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna take a little bit more out here. She doesn't want that corner on there where it's a little too heavy. So let's just cut that off right there. Still working at an angle because she wants it stacked. So you don't want it to be the same length right here as it is down here. You want it to be a little bit longer. Whoops. Okay, and then same thing, go through. And trim it, make sure you've got the whole section even again. the bad thing about being tall. You have to get down to be able to see. Okay, I'm going to take a teeny bit more right there again. Again, I'm a little bit long on the left side. Okay, what do you think?
Okay. Thank you.
A little better?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't trim any of that up there really in. Leave that though, right?
Yeah, if it's blended.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me check and make sure. I think we're pretty close. Okay, so same thing. You're gonna want to blend that a little bit. Same thing we did before. Really overextend, let that length fall out, and just trim those few little hairs in right there, okay? Okay, let's fall out. I'll take a section so you can see. Okay. So comb it out. You can see it's a little longer there. Just come to your line and then let that top fall out and trim that in. I don't think it'll make a huge difference because we just took a little more right in there, but just to be safe, you can go through and check your corners here to make sure they still blend. And they look good, so. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Okay.
This texture.
Uh-huh. Okay, and then she likes it to be textured. Those?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. All right, and we'll just, she likes it just done a little bit here in the crown, just so she can get a little more fullness in her hair. So we'll just pull that up and just texture a little bit in there. And then again, sorry, okay.
Okay, awesome. Thanks to Missy. She did an awesome job. We will do a styling video next, so just we'll look for that. Thank you. Hi, I'm Radona from boysandgirlshairstyles.com. So we did a video on my haircut. We cut all the back off, left the front a little bit longer. When we did the video, we just barely trimmed my top. I wanted that longer, but when I styled it, it wasn't going quite how I was thinking it would. So I just wanted to let you guys know we did go shorter on the top. So when you go to style, you know, your hair, if you want it like this, then just go shorter on top. Okay, I have a root lift volumizing foam, and what I'm going to do, and it's from Joico, and I'm just going to spray it here and here, and just kind of rub that in through there. That's just through the root part where I want the volume. Then the Add Volume Mousse, this is from KMS, California. Love this because it gets on your hair strand and it swells the hair strand. Okay, so I'm just going to put this all over. And then I'm just going to show you how I dry this. The thing I like about this is I don't have any round brush that I have to use, so bonus. That takes up more time, so I'm glad that this is going to be faster. Okay. I just like to put my fingers through this. I'm going to turn around in the back. This I kind of do down, but about here is where I kind of go up a tiny bit with my dryer. Forward. And then when I'm just lifting up with my fingers as I go through my hair. Same thing on this side. Just kind of blowing it the opposite way. What this is going to do is give it volume. When I just kind of push it back the other way to style it. Oops, sorry. And all of this top, you just want messy, so just going to go back and forth with your fingers. And the blow dryer. You can see I'm just kind of going back and forth like this. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to comb through this, just so it can get whatever's wet out. And then I'm just going to go back through it one more time, just to make sure it's all the way dry. Again, I've just done my back like this. This. Just go through and make sure it's dry because I am going to use the flat iron on this. Okay, now I'm just going to take the flat iron and come and just pull this straight up. All of this I'm just pulling straight out. Okay, in the back. Sides back here, just want to go straight out. Okay, and then I'm going to take all of this. And this I just want straight. Oops, sorry. Okay, and then this, what I'm going to do is just barely turn this up. All of this straight out. Okay, all of this straight down. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take the distortion. You need to use about this much. And then, sorry, I got hair on my face. And then I'm just going to rub it in to where it's clear. Okay, and then I'm gonna come up here, I'm gonna start grabbing at this. And this is what's fun with this haircut is I can just really piece it out and have fun with it that way. Okay, sometimes you might need a little bit more. I am going to do a little bit more. Okay, now with the back, I'm just going to come in and I'm going to grab and just pull straight out. Just going to piece this down here. So you can see these straight pieces underneath. And if you want, you can just leave it all straight down. I just wanted to kind of play with it and have that out a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to take a comb, just come up through here. Just so it stays a little bit. Spray that. Okay, now, of course, I don't want it to be that wild. So just kind of grab it, comb out, you know, kind of comb it. Right there, it's not coming up as much as I'd like. Okay, I'm going to take my mirror so I can kind of see the back. Just in between here, I'm just going to give this a little bit of volume so it'll blend a little bit better. Okay, that's just how I'm going to do my new haircut. I'll play with it a little bit and style it, you know, some other ways and stuff. The other day I did just do the sides down, and that was fine also. So anyway, just play with it, and that's how I style it. Again, I'll just turn around so you can see the back. Just kind of make this messy and grab at it. All right, thank you so much for watching.